What if I told you the loudest person in the room is almost always the weakest? That true strength, real success, happens in the shadows, quietly, deliberately, and away from the noise. Right now, you might feel invisible, unheard, even overlooked. But here's the truth. Your silence is your secret weapon. By the end of this, your mindset about success will never be the same. You will learn how to grow without announcing it, how to build without seeking applause, and how to become unstoppable in silence. The power of silent growth is one of the most overlooked forces in the journey to success. It is easy to fall into the trap of believing that loud announcements, public declarations, and constant updates are the keys to advancement. But true growth, lasting, unshakable growth, often happens far from the public eye, in moments unseen and unheard. It is in the quiet hours before dawn, when no one watches, that the seeds of greatness are planted and nurtured. Consider the oak tree. It does not shout as it grows. It does not demand attention. Instead, it takes root deep beneath the soil, gathering strength and stability with each passing day. Those roots, hidden from view, anchor the tree against the fiercest storms. Without them, the mighty oak would fall at the first strong wind. Your personal growth, when cultivated silently, becomes your foundation, the deep root system that will hold you steady when challenges arise. Psychologically, silence allows the mind to focus. In a world overwhelmed by noise, constant social media updates, endless notifications, and the pressures of performing for an audience, our mental energy is pulled in many directions. When you grow silently, you reclaim your focus. You step away from distractions and the external validation that often hijacks your motivation. This kind of focused effort taps into what psychologists call flow state, a condition where productivity and creativity peak, and time seems to disappear. Silent growth is the gateway to this state. Look at the stories of some of history's greatest achievers. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, spent countless hours tinkering in his workshop. His work was not broadcasted with fanfare. It was a quiet obsession. Edison's silent dedication allowed him to experiment, fail, learn, and eventually succeed. His work was a testament to what silent growth can achieve. He understood that before any great invention is revealed, it must first be nurtured in silence. The emotional weight of silent growth is profound. It demands patience, humility, and faith in the unseen process. Many give up because the progress feels invisible. They doubt their own efforts because the world does not applaud their daily grind. But it is precisely in those moments, when the world cannot see you, that you build resilience and character. The silent grower embraces solitude and discipline, knowing that the payoff will come in time. Action is essential, but it must be paired with silence. It is not enough to work hard. You must also work smart, shielded from the chaos and distractions of the world. Your energy is precious. Guard it fiercely. Let your labor be your loudest statement, not your word. In conclusion, silent growth is not an absence of progress. It is progress in its purest form. It is the unseen effort that prepares you to rise higher than those who demand attention too soon. Remember, the tallest trees grow quietly, and so too will your success if you learn to nurture it in silence. Trust the process. Let the world watch your results, not your noise. Noise breeds weakness. This is a truth many fail to recognize, blinded by the allure of attention and the mistaken belief that being heard is synonymous with being strong. Yet history and psychology tell a different story. Those who shout the loudest are often the most vulnerable. Noise, whether it be excessive talk, boasting, or unnecessary distractions, dilutes strength, scatters focus, and invites resistance. True power resides in calm, deliberate action, in the quiet confidence of those who understand that strength does not need to scream for recognition. Think about the great leaders and creators who changed the world. They rarely made noise for noise's sake. Abraham Lincoln, often described as a man of few words, chose his moments carefully. He listened more than he spoke, and when he did speak, his words carried weight because they were measured and meaningful. Contrast this with those who constantly seek to dominate conversation, only to reveal insecurity beneath the surface. The louder the noise, the more likely it is to attract criticism, doubt, and opposition. Psychologically, Noise is a sign of scattered energy. When you constantly broadcast your every thought or plan, you leak your mental power. The mind thrives on focus and clarity, yet noise fragments attention and feeds anxiety. This fragmentation weakens resolve and blurs vision. In a noisy environment, whether internal or external, it becomes difficult to cultivate discipline and perseverance. The individual who understands this guards their thoughts and words like precious currency, investing them only where they yield the highest return. Consider the story of Nikola Tesla, a man of profound genius and deep humility. Tesla worked tirelessly in solitude, refusing to chase fame or approval. While others clamored for the spotlight, he focused on his inventions and ideas in silence. The noise of his contemporaries, obsessed with publicity and competition, often obscured his quiet achievement. Yet Tesla's legacy endures precisely because he did not waste his energy on noise. His strength was in his silence, his focus, his refusal to be distracted by the clamor of the world. Emotionally, noise can be a mask for fear. When people shout, boast, or draw attention to themselves, it is often a defense against vulnerability and uncertainty. Noise fills the void where confidence should reside. But confidence built on noise is fragile. It crumbles at the first sign of challenge. On the other hand, those who cultivate quiet strength develop resilience. They do not need constant validation. Their power is internal, rooted in self-belief and relentless action. Action breeds results, but noise breeds weakness. The world respects those who deliver outcomes, not those who promise loudly without substance. Napoleon Hill reminds us that the great achievers are those who master their emotions and focus their energy. They understand that silence is not surrender, but a strategy, a shield that protects their vision from sabotage. In a world drowning in noise, be the calm voice. Let your work, your character, and your results speak with undeniable clarity. Resist the temptation to be loud for attention's sake. Instead, channel your energy into silent, focused growth. Remember, noise may fill a room, but it never builds a legacy. Strength whispers. Noise shatters. Choose strength. Choose silence. Build power where no one can distract you. Because noise breeds weakness, but silence, deliberate and disciplined, breeds unstoppable power. Patience is more than a virtue. It is the very foundation upon which enduring success is built. In a world consumed by immediacy, where instant gratification reigns supreme, the ability to wait, endure, and persist is a rare strength, one that separates the fleeting from the formidable. Napoleon Hill understood this deeply when he said, "Patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success." To grasp the psychology of patience is to unlock the secret to transforming dreams into reality. At its core, patience is the discipline to delay gratification. It is the quiet force that steadies the mind amid chaos, allowing the individual to withstand setbacks without surrendering to frustration or despair. Psychologically, patience engages the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and long-term planning. Those who cultivate patience develop stronger self-regulation, enabling them to resist short-term temptations in favor of lasting reward. This capacity is essential for anyone striving to build something meaningful. Consider the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder of KFC. Sanders faced rejection after rejection over 1,000 times before his recipe was accepted. Each refusal was a test of patience, a psychological challenge that would have broken many. But Sanders understood that success was not a matter of speed, but of endurance. He waited, refined his approach, and persevered until his moment arrived. His patience was not passive. It was active and strategic, a quiet belief in the inevitability of his vision. Emotionally, patience requires faith. Faith in oneself, in the process, and in the unseen progress beneath the surface. It demands humility, the willingness to accept that some things cannot be rushed. Yet, this does not mean complacency. True patience is a dynamic tension between action and waiting. It is the ability to labor diligently every day while resisting the urge to demand immediate results. This tension builds resilience, a psychological armor against the disappointments that often accompany ambitious pursuits. In contrast, impatience breeds anxiety, rash decisions, and burnout. When the mind fixates on the end result without appreciating the journey, it fosters frustration and doubt. The impatient person becomes a prisoner of their own desires, sabotaging progress through erratic behavior and lack of focus. Napoleon Hill warned against this when he emphasized the power of persistence, combined with patience, knowing when to act and when to wait. Real growth, like a mighty river carving through rock, requires time. It is a slow, persistent force, often invisible to the casual observer. Just as the bamboo tree grows its roots for years before shooting up 80 feet in a matter of weeks, patience cultivates the unseen foundation necessary for rapid ascent. It is the secret ally of every successful person who has ever endured failure and emerged stronger. To master the psychology of patience is to reclaim control over your mindset and destiny. It transforms waiting from a source of weakness into a strategic tool. When impatience whispers, "Give up," patience answers with unwavering resolve. It teaches that every setback is a setup for a comeback, and every delay contains a hidden opportunity for growth. In the end, patience is not just about waiting. It is about growing while you wait. It is about preparing your mind, your skills, and your spirit for the breakthrough that only time can bring. If you can embrace patience, you hold the power to turn dreams into reality, no matter how long the journey may be. The spotlight is seductive. It promises recognition, admiration, and validation, the very things many crave on their journey to success. But Napoleon Hill warned us that the spotlight can be a trap, a dangerous distraction that leads even the most talented astray. To avoid the spotlight trap is to understand that premature exposure can fracture your vision, invite unnecessary pressure, and steal the very energy you need to build your dreams. Many have fallen into this trap. They rush to announce their plans, showcase their progress, or seek approval before their work is fully formed. This rush to be seen often stems from a deep desire for validation, a psychological need to prove worth through external recognition. Yet, the spotlight shines brightest on the surface, often blinding us to the depth required beneath. Success is rarely instantaneous. It is a slow, deliberate process, requiring patience, focus, and a shielded environment. Take the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before the world knew her name, Rowling worked quietly in coffee shops, facing rejection after rejection from publishers. She did not rush to the spotlight with unfinished drafts or seek premature fame. Instead, she protected her vision, focusing solely on perfecting her work. When the time was right, her story emerged fully formed, and the world embraced it. Her avoidance of the spotlight during the formative stages was crucial to her lasting success. Psychologically, the spotlight can distort self-perception and invite external pressure that undermines confidence. When you expose incomplete ideas or fledgling projects, you open yourself to criticism and doubt, both from others and from within. The human mind, vulnerable to social judgment, can falter under this scrutiny, leading to self-sabotage or abandoning dreams altogether. Those who avoid the spotlight learn to cultivate internal validation, relying on their own progress as the true measure of success. Emotionally, the spotlight trap feeds insecurity. It tempts you to perform rather than to produce, to seek applause rather than achievement. This need for immediate approval can drain motivation and scatter focus. True builders understand that the work must come first, silently, persistently, before the recognition. They are comfortable working in obscurity, knowing that their results will eventually command attention far more powerfully than any premature declaration ever could. The spotlight also attracts distraction. Once exposed, your vision is vulnerable to unsolicited opinions, envy, and competing agendas. Protecting your project from these external forces is essential. Napoleon Hill emphasized the importance of guarding your mind and energy. When you avoid the spotlight, you create a sanctuary for your creativity and growth, a place where you control the pace and direction without interruption. Avoiding the spotlight is not about hiding or being secretive for secrecy's sake. It is a strategic choice, a discipline to nurture your work away from noise and pressure. It is the difference between planting seeds in fertile soil and scattering them to the wind. Those who resist the urge to show off prematurely build with greater depth, resilience, and clarity. In the end, the spotlight will come naturally when your work is ready. It will shine on you because of the undeniable power of your results, not the volume of your announcements. Remember this, the trap lies not in the spotlight itself, but in chasing it before you are prepared to stand within it. Guard your vision. Work quietly. Let your success be the spotlight that illuminates your path. Would you like me to expand another lesson for you? Focus is the fortress that guards your dream. In a world inundated with distractions, where every ping and notification vies for your attention, building a fortress around your focus is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Napoleon Hill understood this truth profoundly. He wrote, "The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge, but knowledge demands concentration. Without protecting your focus, your knowledge and efforts will scatter like dust in the wind." Consider the mind as a battlefield. Every distraction, social media alerts, idle gossip, noise from others, are enemy forces attempting to breach your defenses. The strongest army can be defeated by a breach in its walls. Your focus is the wall that keeps your energy intact and your vision clear. To build this fortress, you must first recognize what threatens it. Most people fall prey to the illusion of multitasking, believing they can juggle many things at once. Science proves otherwise. The brain is not wired for multitasking. It switches rapidly from one task to another, draining willpower and diminishing quality. The fortress is broken by this fractured attention. History's great achievers mastered this art. Look at Albert Einstein, who famously worked in a calm, distraction-free environment, allowing his mind to wander deeply into complex problems. His focus was so intense that he could isolate himself from the noise around him. Contrast this with today's modern world, where constant interruptions fragment even the most determined mind. Building your fortress means learning to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. Psychologically, focus is tied to self-discipline and emotional regulation. When you guard your attention fiercely, you are training your brain to resist temptation and stay aligned with your goals. This creates what psychologists call executive function, the mental ability to plan, prioritize, and execute tasks effectively. Strengthening this function is akin to reinforcing the walls of your fortress. Without it, even the most brilliant ideas will crumble under pressure and distraction. Emotionally, guarding your focus requires courage. It means turning away from the noise of popular opinion, the allure of instant gratification, and the easy path of procrastination. It demands that you create boundaries, both physical and mental, to protect your creative and productive time. The emotional payoff is profound. Increased clarity, deeper satisfaction in your work, and a growing confidence that you control your destiny. Take the example of Warren Buffett, who famously limits his commitments to maintain focus on what truly matters. He avoids meetings and distractions that do not align with his core objectives. His fortress is built on clear priorities and disciplined choices. This strategic protection allows him to harness his mental energy where it counts most, creating wealth that compounds over decades. Your action step is clear. Schedule silent work sessions where interruptions are not allowed. These periods become your fortress towers, vantage points from which you can survey your goals and plan your attack. Guard these times with the same vigilance a soldier guards a fortress gate. Protect your mind and energy with rituals that minimize distraction. Turn off notifications, create a dedicated workspace, and cultivate habits that reinforce focus. Remember, your dreams are only as strong as the walls protecting them. Without a fortress of focus, your goals are vulnerable to collapse. With it, you become unstoppable. Napoleon Hill's wisdom rings true. The secret of success lies in persistent concentration of the mind. Build your fortress. Defend your focus. Your future depends on it. Silence builds unshakable confidence in ways loud declarations never can. It is in the quiet moments of reflection, preparation, and steady action that true belief in oneself takes root. Napoleon Hill taught that self-confidence is not a mere byproduct of success, but the essential fuel that drives it forward. But this confidence is rarely born from noise or public applause. It grows quietly, cultivated through discipline and internal validation, making it impervious to the shifting tides of opinion. When you remain silent about your goals and work, you remove the crutches of external approval. The world cannot shake what is built within. Confidence born from silence is self-sustained. It does not depend on praise or recognition, but on the solid proof you gather each day through your efforts and progress. Psychologically, this kind of confidence activates a resilient mindset, one that does not crumble under criticism or falter when faced with doubt. It is a fortress of belief, immune to the whispers of naysayers. Consider the story of Mahatma Gandhi, a man whose quiet resolve moved millions. Gandhi's confidence was not expressed through grandiose speeches or loud proclamations of power. Instead, it was forged in silent fasting, peaceful protest, and unwavering commitment to his principles. His strength came from an inner conviction that did not require validation from others. This silence made his confidence unshakable, inspiring a nation and the world. Emotionally, silence protects your confidence from the corrosive effects of comparison and envy. When you broadcast your ambitions prematurely, you open yourself to judgment and pressure that can erode belief. Silent confidence guards your spirit, allowing you to focus solely on progress. It fosters patience, humility, and an unwavering focus on the process rather than the applause. This internal trust is far more powerful than fleeting external approval. Real-world examples abound of silent confidence. Warren Buffett famously avoids the spotlight, letting his investment results speak for themselves. His calm demeanor is a reflection of deep, self-assured knowledge, not arrogance or noise. The silent confidence Buffett embodies is what allows him to make decisions others shy away from and to remain steady in volatile markets. The psychology behind this is simple but profound. Confidence built on external noise is fragile, dependent on the ebb and flow of approval. Confidence nurtured in silence is durable and expansive, giving you the courage to take risks, endure failures, and persist without wavering. It aligns with Hill's idea that strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle, and that this effort is often a private battle. Silence is not absence, it is presence. It is the calm before the storm, the deep breath before the leap. When you build your confidence in silence, you become unstoppable. The world may not hear your preparation, but it will feel the impact of your success. Your quiet belief becomes a roar in action. In conclusion, silence is the soil in which unshakable confidence grows. It frees you from the tyranny of opinion and anchors you in truth, your truth. Let your confidence be forged in the quiet, steady work of persistence. Then watch as it carries you beyond doubt, beyond fear, and into the realm of unstoppable power. Doubt is one of the most corrosive forces to success. It creeps quietly into the mind, whispering uncertainty, feeding fear and clouding vision. But there is a weapon more powerful than any fear or skepticism: results. Letting results shatter doubt is not just a strategy. It is a mindset that transforms hesitation into unstoppable momentum. Napoleon Hill knew this well when he declared that faith in oneself must be backed by tangible proof. Proof found only in consistent, undeniable outcomes. Every great achiever has faced doubt. Often it was their own. The internal dialogue that questions whether they are good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough. But those who succeed do not waste time arguing with doubt. Instead, they focus on producing results, small victories, daily progress, clear evidence that their efforts are working. These results become the irrefutable testimony that silences fear and cements belief. Consider the example of Oprah Winfrey, who rose from poverty and hardship to become one of the most influential women in the world. Early in her career, Oprah faced countless rejections and criticism. Doubt surely lurked in her mind, but she refused to let it dictate her path. She let her growing success, her ratings, her impact, her influence speak for itself. Each achievement was a stepping stone that shattered any lingering doubt, both within and from the world around her. Her results told a story far louder than any criticism. Psychologically, results serve as concrete evidence that rewires the brain's belief system. Human minds are naturally skeptical, often stuck in patterns of fear and self-doubt. But the brain is also wired to recognize success and reinforce behaviors that lead to it. When you accumulate positive results, your mind begins to replace doubt with confidence. This shift is crucial. It changes your identity from someone who wonders if they can succeed to someone who knows they will. Emotionally, focusing on results grounds you in reality rather than fantasy. Many people get trapped in endless planning or worrying about possibilities without ever moving forward. Doubt thrives in this limbo, but results are the antidote. They provide feedback, clarity, and momentum. Each result, no matter how small, is a declaration that you are moving forward, that your efforts matter, and that success is within reach. Napoleon Hill's teachings emphasize that faith without action is useless. Action without results is incomplete, but action followed by results is transformative. It creates a cycle of success where doubt has no foothold. This cycle is not reserved for the lucky few. It is available to anyone willing to commit to consistent effort and measurable progress. In your own journey, remember this. You do not need to convince the world with words. You do not need to defend your dreams with explanation. Let your results do the talking. Work diligently, measure your progress, and celebrate your wins. When doubt arises, look to your achievements as proof that you are on the right path. In the end, results do not just silence doubt. They destroy it. They turn skepticism into belief, fear into courage, and dreams into reality. The moment you begin to let your results shatter doubt, you step into a realm of unstoppable power, where your actions and outcomes speak louder than any hesitation. Silent leaders inspire not by shouting commands or seeking the spotlight, but through the quiet strength of their actions and character. Napoleon Hill understood that true leadership is less about loud declarations and more about the influence one wields without words. The silent leader moves with purpose, sets the example, and earns respect, not by noise, but by the weight of their integrity and the power of their consistency. This form of leadership is rare because it requires restraint, humility, and a deep understanding that influence is earned, not demanded. Throughout history, the most revered leaders have been those who inspired silently. Take Abraham Lincoln, known for his thoughtful pauses and measured words. He led a nation torn apart by civil war, not through grandstanding, but through steadfast resolve and personal example. His quiet strength gave hope to millions, showing that leadership is as much about listening and reflecting as it is about direct. Lincoln's silence in the face of chaos was a beacon of calm, inspiring confidence far more than any impassioned speech could. Psychologically, silent leadership taps into a profound human need, the desire to follow someone genuine and dependable. Loud leaders may grab attention briefly, but silent leaders build trust that lasts. When a leader's actions align with their words, followers experience cognitive consonance, which deepens loyalty and motivation. The silent leader cultivates this consonance through consistency, showing up daily, making tough decisions with integrity, and remaining calm amid uncertainty. This steadiness becomes a magnetic force, drawing others to rise alongside them. Emotionally, silence in leadership creates space for others to grow. Rather than overshadowing or micromanaging, the silent leader empowers by example. This kind of leadership builds confidence within a team, encouraging individuals to find their own voices and strengths. It nurtures a culture of responsibility and self-motivation, where people feel seen through action rather than rhetoric. The silent leader's influence becomes a ripple expanding beyond direct commands to shape minds and hearts. Consider the example of Nelson Mandela. After decades of imprisonment, Mandela did not return to leadership with fury or loud demands. Instead, he led South Africa through quiet strength and forgiveness, inspiring a nation to heal and unite. His silence was a source of immense power, an unspoken message that true leadership transcends noise and thrives in dignity and patience. Mandela's leadership legacy teaches us that the most profound inspiration comes not from volume, but from the integrity behind the voice. The silent leader understands that influence is not measured by how loudly one speaks, but by how effectively one moves others. Napoleon Hill's wisdom echoes here. The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge, and knowledge is often gained in quiet reflection and thoughtful action. Silent leaders embody this pursuit, continually learning, adapting, and growing, while inspiring others to do the same. In practical terms, silent leadership demands restraint, resisting the urge to dominate conversations or rush to judgment. It means leading with empathy, listening deeply, and acting with intention. It is about being a pillar of strength when storms rage, a source of calm when chaos ensues. This form of leadership, while less flashy, leaves a lasting legacy because it is rooted in authenticity and respect. In conclusion, the silent leader inspires not through noise but through quiet, unwavering example. They build trust, empower others, and create movements that outlast their own presence. Embrace the power of silent leadership, for it is the force that transforms individuals, teams, and nations without ever needing to shout. The world does not need louder leaders. It needs leaders whose silence speaks volumes. Mastering the art of delayed gratification is the cornerstone of every lasting success story. Napoleon Hill emphasized that those who control their impulses and postpone immediate pleasure in favor of greater long-term rewards hold the key to extraordinary achievement. In a world obsessed with instant results and fleeting satisfaction, the ability to wait, endure, and work steadily toward a distant goal is a rare and powerful discipline, one that transforms ordinary individuals into legends. Psychologically, delayed gratification is tied to self-control, a function of the prefrontal cortex, the brain's decision-making center. Those who exercise this control resist the temptation of short-term pleasures that undermine their larger vision. This ability strengthens mental resilience and shapes habits that align with purpose rather than impulse. When you master delayed gratification, you shift your mindset from living for the moment to investing in your future. This shift changes everything. Consider the famous marshmallow experiment conducted by psychologist Walter Mischel. Children were given a choice, one marshmallow now, or two if they could wait. The children who waited consistently went on to achieve higher academic success and healthier lives. This simple test reveals a profound truth. Delayed gratification predicts not only success, but the quality of life itself. It is the silent power behind every goal reached and every dream fulfilled. Emotionally, mastering this art requires courage and conviction. It means enduring discomfort, resisting the seductive pull of immediate pleasure, and embracing the uncertainty of the future. Yet this discomfort is the training ground for character and discipline. Those who yield to instant gratification often find themselves trapped in cycles of regret and stagnation. Those who delay, however, build momentum, strength, and confidence through steady progress. Take the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders, who founded KFC at an age when most retire. His journey was not marked by quick wins, but by decades of persistence, rejection, and sacrifice. He delayed gratification, refusing to settle for small successes or shortcuts. Sanders understood that true achievement demands patience and the ability to forgo immediate pleasure for a greater payoff. His story teaches us that delayed gratification is not denial but investment, a conscious choice to prioritize long-term value over temporary. Napoleon Hill's wisdom reminds us that every adversity carries the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Delayed gratification is the practice of nurturing that seed patiently, knowing it will bear fruit in its own time. It is a declaration of faith in yourself and your vision, a testament to your belief that your future is worth more than any momentary desire. In practical terms, mastering delayed gratification means building daily rituals that support your goals, disciplined work sessions, healthy habits, and the refusal to be swayed by distractions. It means making choices that serve your long-term vision, even when the immediate reward is tempting. This mastery frees you from the tyranny of impulse and places you firmly in control of your destiny. In conclusion, mastering the art of delayed gratification is the secret weapon of the successful. It transforms challenges into opportunities and desires into achievement. When you learn to wait, to endure, and to invest in your future, you tap into a power that no distraction can diminish and no temptation can derail. Embrace delayed gratification, and you will unlock a strength that carries you beyond the ordinary into the realm of greatness. Your silence is your signature, a powerful mark that defines not only who you are, but the legacy you leave behind. In a world overwhelmed by noise and endless chatter, silence is rare, precious, and potent. Napoleon Hill taught that success is often forged in the quiet moments where the noise of the crowd fades and the clarity of purpose shines. Your silence is not an absence, it is a presence. It is the unspoken confidence and unwavering focus that sets you apart, the invisible thread that weaves your story into something unforgettable. Silence carries weight because it is deliberate. When you choose silence, you are choosing to speak through actions rather than words. The most impactful leaders, creators, and innovators understood this. Steve Jobs, for example, was known not just for his visionary speeches, but for his intense silent focus behind the scenes. His silence was his canvas, a space where ideas matured and excellence was crafted. When he finally spoke, his words carried the power of preparation and purpose, not empty noise. Psychologically, silence is a form of control. It signals that you are not compelled by the need for external approval or the urgency to broadcast your every thought. The human mind is drawn to authenticity, and silence speaks volumes about self-confidence and mastery. When you refuse to fill every moment with talk, you create space for reflection, creativity, and strategic thinking. This mental clarity is essential for making sound decisions and cultivating resilience. Emotionally, silence shields you from the corrosive effects of judgment and comparison. When you keep your progress private, you protect your spirit from the skepticism and envy that often accompany public exposure. This protection allows you to build quietly, free from the pressure to perform or explain. It nurtures humility and patience, qualities Napoleon Hill identified as critical for success. Your silence becomes a sanctuary where growth flourishes unseen, yet unstoppable. Consider the story of Rosa Parks. Her act of silence, simply refusing to give up her seat, became one of the most powerful signatures in history. It was not the loud protests or speeches, but her quiet, steadfast refusal that ignited a movement. Her silence was a form of resistance, a statement more profound than words. This teaches us that silence can be an act of courage and a catalyst for change. Your silence also compels others to listen. In a society where everyone vies for attention, the one who speaks less often commands more respect. People are drawn to those who listen, who observe, and who act with intention. This magnetic quality is the essence of your signature, unique, memorable, and influential. Practically embracing your silence means learning when to speak and when to hold back. It means valuing substance over volume, quality over quantity. It requires discipline to resist the urge to explain, justify, or boast. Instead, let your results, character, and integrity do the talking. Your silence will become a powerful narrative that others cannot ignore. In conclusion, your silence is not your weakness, it is your signature. It is the quiet strength that defines you, the invisible force that shapes your legacy. In the words of Napoleon Hill, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle, often carried out in the silence away from the crowd. Own your silence. Let it speak for you. It is the most authentic, compelling, and lasting mark you will ever make.